Thanks to Dashlane for sponsoring this video. Keep your digital life secure and never forget a password again. Hello world. Today we find ourselves in the capital city of the Philippines, Manila, which is infamous for its traffic. But isn't that true with many major cities? Like, I'm from Vancouver, and it's a known thing that traffic congestion can get really bad. And those living in LA, you know what's up. However, the commute in both those cities pales in comparison to the Manila commute.
So there's no traffic light.
Hi, my name is Emiko.
And she was nice enough to let me join her on her daily commute. But before I could even get to her, I had to do a bit of commuting on my own. I used Grab, Philippines Uber, which is a privilege many Filipinos don't get. And truth be told, traveling as a single passenger in a car doesn't help traffic congestion one bit. But I had somewhere to be, and I was thinking only about myself, both that I needed to get to my meeting point in time, which I totally didn't, and that I needed to get there safely, which with my camera gear, many local Filipinos told me not to do on my own out in the open. So for this portion of the trip, Grab it was. Total cost, 263p, or $5 US, which is almost exactly half the daily minimum wage in Metro Manila. .4 kilometers and 2 hours later, I finally arrived at Emiko's office. Now the commute can officially start. And yeah, I could have walked that distance quicker and jogged it in less than half the time.
I finished my work 5:30 in the afternoon. So I walk from here to the Mega Mall, 15 to 20 minutes of walk. There are a lot of difference here in Japan.
Yeah. Lots of different.
Usually, I try to catch the van here.
Okay.
But it's either two of those things. You catch the van while it's running,
Yeah.
and you line up in Mega Mall, but you wait for too long.
So the van she's talking about is this UV Express. UV meaning utility van. And some people choose to randomly wait along this road, hoping a van stops in front of them. But whether or not they can quickly hitch a ride, there is no guarantee. Emiko calls these people commuting zombies, perhaps for the way they slavishly chase after the van, or simply for the exhausted look on their faces. But come on, could a zombie maneuver like this lady in the black miniskirt? She snuck right in like a pro. If you want to know what disappointment looks like, this is it, people.
Yep, here. So we'll go to Mega Mall instead.
Okay. See, if red, that means run.
Run.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of traffic, I noticed people scrambling, so I pressed record and followed along.
You see that every day.
Emiko's lineup is actually on the other side of the mall, so we go through another security checkpoint. The magic stick confirms I'm not a threat, and off we go.
So we're now going home to Antipolo. We're trying to catch the UV Express there outside Mega Mall. Maybe you can now start tuning from here
Okay.
so that you can see how long the line is. So on this side, up to there, this is the line. Pagod. I'm going to wait for 1 hour or more just to ride the van. Yay! We'll have to compress.
Yeah.
Dalawa na sa harap! Doon na lang kayo.
Oh my God.
You have to wait for the next one?
I think that's it.
You're so lucky today, Greg. We get the first one to ride the UV.
Now that we're in the UV, it's relatively smooth, if not cramped, sailing. So for an hour or so, Emiko can do what she likes on her smartphone.
During my commute, I'm always watching videos. That's the first one. And I always catch up with my friends using the messenger, texting.
Okay. A jeepney, like over here, would have been cheaper, but this UV Express has air conditioning and sealed windows, which allows for a more bearable commute home. Now we find ourselves in Antipolo, which means we're in the provinces, outside of Metro Manila. You can see on the road how the vehicles are increasingly becoming trikes, which is exactly what we'll have to take for the last portion of our trip.
This is where we go. Where we go.
Oops, nice to know. Away, gulong.
But before we can catch the trike home, we grab some takeout rotisserie chicken for dinner.
Let's go. By the way, Greg, this is the Antipolo Cathedral.
And because we're at Antipolo Cathedral, officially the national shrine of Our Lady of Peace and Good Voyage, we make a brief pit stop. But alas, we have to be getting home. The driver was waiting for 2 more passengers, which happened to be us.
You go inside.
This trike holds 4 passengers, and the distance will be 2.4 kilometers, or 1.5 miles. Even though this is a residential area, it's loud at night from the trikes that dominate the mountainous roads. However, on downward slopes, you can steal some respite. And before you know it, we're at another security checkpoint, which we easily breeze through. And then another one, because, well, I don't really know why. And at last, we find ourselves at home.
I usually get to my place 8:30 to 9.
And when do you eat dinner?
Dinner, 10 o'clock. 10, 9:30, 10. Sometimes I eat while lining up for the UV.
Right, so what time do you actually get to bed?
11.
So you go to bed at 11, you wake up at 3?
Yup. That's every day for almost 3 years now.
You're making me tired. So that I could briefly emulate Emiko's life, she arranged an Airbnb for me so that the next morning I could join her morning commute. Don't mind the mess. I slept in here last night for a few hours, and that's my mess there. Wasn't like that to start off with. Just want to show you the place. So this is the bath, well, toilet, and then showers up there. So it's a combo unit. And this is what it looks like. Sorry, I'm in a rush. I have to go. That's where I stayed. Before we get to the second half of the trip, let me talk to you about safety. While traveling in the Philippines, I was always on the go, but still needed to log in to all my accounts. Because I don't reuse my passwords for different logins, that's not safe. This means I have a ton of unique passwords. That's why I have a password manager, like Dashlane, which remembers and keeps them safe. Since Dashlane has a smartphone app, and my Pixel 2 XL has fingerprint authentication, I only need my finger to log in. This is much better than typing my passwords out in the open, exposing them to my fellow travelers. When I want to buy flight tickets to my next destination, I can use my desktop to fill up my credit card information. That's because Dashlane works on all devices, from iPhones to laptops to desktops. The detail I really enjoy about Dashlane is how it autofills the passwords so fast. My previous password manager would make you click buttons to log in, but Dashlane simply fills and submits automatically when it recognizes a site's login page. The big reason I recommend Dashlane is because it safely stores all your data, from logins to credit card info, but only requires you to remember a single master password. This might sound dangerous, but that master password is not stored with Dashlane, only you know it, so even if they get hacked, your data is safe. Right now, you can get a free trial to Dashlane Premium for a month, and after that, you'll get a 10% discount if you're one of the first 200 people who use my code. So go to dashlane.com/life and use the coupon code LIFE to get started. Now let's get back to Manila.
I need to catch the first tricycle before 4 a.m.
Di ba yung mag-pick up nito? Meron kaming...
The night before, Emiko had arranged for the driver to pick me up at 4 a.m., but as she had warned, being on time is not a guarantee. So even though some other drivers tried to offer rides, my driver didn't show up until 15 minutes later, at which point she had already booked another ride. Yeah, he just left, like 1 minute before he came here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Filipinos are always late.
For the last leg of the trip, we're riding in the venerable Jeepney. What we're doing now is waiting until the jeepney is full before we depart. Along the journey, you'll hear the words bayad po, which means my payment. Since there's usually many people between you and the barker, the fare collector, it's up to the passengers to pass the money around.
It doesn't leave until it hits 11 even if you're all trapped.
Okay, 4:33, what time?
4:30. I think we'll arrive 45 minutes later.
That whistling sound you're hearing? That's the jeepney's air brakes. Along the way, passengers can be dropped off and picked up at any point alongside the road, which, while convenient, doesn't help traffic safety or congestion. We're now at peak passenger, with 11 on each bench, 2 in the front, 2 standing in and out of the rear, plus the driver up front and the barker in the back, for a grand total of 28 souls aboard.
Up, dali!
What do you do on the weekends then?
On the weekends, I just sleep. I just sleep, watch videos, read a book, and sleep. Sometimes I meet with my friends, but recently I haven't met my friends because I was always tired. It's really not efficient. We're wasting a lot of time just because of the traffic, the lining up. People's lives are getting messed up because it really gets a lot of negative impact in our lives. So, this is my office.
So bright.
So, this is where we work. So, see, it's already 5:22 in the morning. Normally, I arrive in the office 5 o'clock to 5:30. We start working at 7 o'clock in the morning, but here in my team, we can also start working as early as when we get here, because we normally do things like prepare papers, we do reports, so that later in the afternoon we'll have to do nothing else. we are already relaxed.
I have asthma. Do you have asthma too? Or because you sound like...
Yeah.
I can hear it, so...
Oh my God.
Yeah, it sounds like you're wheezing. Oh. Must be
Yeah.
from the like
From the commute, from
every
the
single
pollution.
day. Yeah. I'd feel like every
I
day.
actually didn't notice yet.
Oh, no, I can kind of hear it, so...
BS5 to 42.
Yeah.
Bye, Greg.
Okay, sorry, my hand's wet.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Take care. You
All
just
right.
share
Okay.
the location if anything happens. Okay?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hey, good morning. Good morning. I asked Emiko what the cost would be like if she took a Grab to and from work. She said it would be 600 to 700p in the morning and up to 1000p at night. The ride alone in the morning would be more than a minimum wage earner makes in a day. So while riding in a Grab was affordable to me, it's not at all a good solution for those commuting in Metro Manila, both price-wise and congestion-wise. There's so much I left out of the video that I just might make a second video about Manila's traffic problems. What do you think? As always, thanks to all my patrons on Patreon for supporting projects like this. I have so much footage from the Philippines, like 17 hours, so there'll probably be 2 or 3 more vids coming out soonish. And the biggest thanks goes to Emiko for showing me what her commute is like. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. What's the commute like where you're from?